If today's talk touched you in a positive way, please use your social media to tell like-minded friends and family. Also, take a moment and like us on Facebook at SpiritIsing. Follow us on Twitter at UnityOCS. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unity of Chicago South Spiritual Community, and listen to our companion podcast, Inner Quest. You'll find it wherever you download your podcasts. Thank you for your continued support. Namaste.
Imagination. Oh, how marvelous imagination. Our imagination is a connection to the power of creation. So beautiful to know we are coded within to utilize our thoughtfulness to tap into the oneness of universal mind and paint pictures based on the flowing energies we desire to choose. We are magnificent beings, managing many encounters from many perspectives as we journey this earth. We are also a connect to the divine magnetic system of I Am. We come with gratitude and questions of why we are allowed to create and receive such wonderment. We are gifted with the ability to project unlimited imagination of joy, of light, of love, wisdom, happiness, abundance, wellness, and so on. These creations often become reality pending the magnitude of focus on our multidimensionality. So let us continue to take time to quieten ourselves, find a space to relax, and allow the power of our thoughts to soar, internalize, and absorb the beauty we are creating. If we are the children of our Creator, we have adopted the skills to create. As we gain more insight about who we really are, just remember, we are becoming masters of our imagination. And so it is.
God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
If today's talk touches you in a positive way, please use your social media to tell like-minded friends and family. Also, take a moment and like us on Facebook at Spiritising. Follow us on Twitter at UnityOCS and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unity of Chicago South Spiritual Community. Listen to our companion podcast, Inner Quest. Find it wherever you download your podcasts. Thank you for your continued support. Namaste.
Greetings and welcome to the wonders that only exist in this moment. Thank you for joining us at Unity Chicago South. Let us center ourselves. Just for today, we will keep our minds filled with possibilities, not obstacles. We will keep our conversations filled with the good we deserve and watch this goodness engulf us. Just for today, nothing will be impossible. I'm Reverend Stephanie Wilson Coleman, and it is a pleasure to be here with you again today. This month, as we celebrate the spiritual principle imagination, my message, as always, is intended to be a message of hope, one that will inspire you to rethink what is possible for your life. A mother took her young daughter to a psychiatrist and explained to the head shrinker that the girl thought she was a chicken. The doctor soothed her, observing that an overactive imagination is not uncommon in children, and asking how long the girl had suffered from this delusion. Almost 2 years, said the mother. Your daughter has imagined she is a chicken for nearly 2 years, the psychiatrist exclaimed. Why have you waited so long before bringing her in? The woman looked embarrassed and then confessed. We needed the eggs, doctor. Talking about the power of imagination. According to truthunity.net, the spiritual principle imagination, which is represented by the disciple Bartholomew, is the faculty of mind that images and forms, the power to shape and form thought. And this imagining faculty presides at the nerve center between the eyes. Through this faculty, the formless takes form. Merriam-Webster defines imagination as the ability of the mind to be creative or resourceful. The action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects that are not present to the senses. That's imagination. Imagination is the ability to create. It is a great way to change your physical world. Your imagination takes your mental images and creates them in your life. What you consistently imagine will appear in your life's experience. George Bernard Shaw says, imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last, you create what you will. When you do not know what to do, start by activating your imagination. Our problem with imagination is summed up in Alice in Wonderland. The Queen reminds us that we have not had enough practice. We should imagine at least 6 impossible things a day. So we've got some catching up to do. So let's get started. It's time to exercise those imagination muscles. So we start by pretending that you have a superpower and you must hide it from others. What is that power? How do you use it? And when will you use it? Next, imagine that you grew up in another culture. Think about the different languages. What culture shock did you experience when you moved to this country? How would your relatives look? Now that your imagination has been awakened, it is time to take the next step. Think about your goals. If you could do anything you wanted and knew it would be successful, what would you do? Often, this is a question we ponder only when we are creating our vision boards at the beginning of the year. We create these beautiful boards and we forget that imagination is the fuel that brings dreams to our life. The world is yourself pushed out. Ask yourself what you want and then give it to yourself. Do not question how it will come about. Just go your way knowing that the evidence of what you have done must appear, and it will. Imagination is a muscle. The more it is used, the better it creates. So now we're starting our exercise program. Here are a few techniques for you to try. The first technique I'd like for you to try is called Awaken Your Inner Dreamer. Philippians 4th chapter, 8th verse reminds us, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. These instructions sound so biblical, but it will help us awaken the inner dreamer. And I know that term, inner dreamer, sounds so mystical, but here's the science. Science and imagination are intertwined like peas and carrots, or as I prefer to say, unicorns and glitter. The imagination is made up of a network that shares information across different regions of the brain. These different regions all work together to form mental images in your head. Cognitive scientists have found that as many as 12 different brain regions are involved when people use their imaginations. In this world, our mind is filled with mental chatter. We have an average of 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, which is 2,500 to 3,000 thoughts per hour, or 42 to 55 thoughts per minute. We are busy thinking. The latest research has revealed that 80% of our thoughts are negative, which means during the course of the day, we have between 48,000 to 64,000 negative thoughts. One thing is clear: we need to renovate our imagination. Centering yourself helps clear mental chatter that tends to hijack our minds with conflicting beliefs and desires. There are many ways to center yourself, so choose one that appeals to you. As your body relaxes, you will feel the energy and the lightness. Centering allows you to empower your inner dreamer to create the things you truly want to experience by refusing to give up space to negative thoughts. Also, try throughout the day to stop randomly and allow your mind to drive. Purposely daydreaming helps to exercise your imagination. Technique number 2, spend 20 minutes daily in writer's lane. Set aside time daily to write about all the thoughts on your mind. You will be surprised by the wonders that lurk in your mind that go unnoticed. This allows you to write them down and make them plain. Step number 3, imagine the outcome. Imagine the end. Do you concern yourself with the process of getting from where you are to where you want to be? You just need to know what you want. Know what you want. The universe will supply the how. Imagine yourself already doing, being, and having what you want to experience right now. Technique number 4, watch your own movie. Some people find it difficult to imagine themselves in the event. And in this case, imagine watching a movie of yourself having the experience. If you have not experienced the event in your life yet, the disconnect is that you have only thought about it and not mentally experienced it. You have to go beyond the experience to create it. And the more you imagine the experience, the sooner it will feel real to you. Technique number 5, allow your mind to try out different scenarios. Ask what-if questions. What-if questions allow you to create different scenarios in the future. So start by trying, what if I? Why not? What rules can I break? What assumptions can I release? Playing out these different scenarios allow you to play out different scenarios without judgment. You see, imagination matters. Imagination leads to creativity, which leads to innovation. Imagination is not only crucial to living your best life, it is critical for necessary advances in our society and to the future economies. We need to look at the things that we call problems from a different perspective. And because of this, imagination is key. So celebrate your imagination by giving it life. The book Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. The protagonist, Harold, is a curious 4-year-old boy who, with his purple crayon, has the power to create a world of his own simply by drawing it. Harold wants to go for a walk in the moonlight, but there's no moon, so he draws one. He has nowhere to walk to, so he draws a path. In Matthew 14th chapter, verses 24 through 33, the disciples were far away from land in a small fishing boat when the storm started. They were surrounded by strong winds, lightning, and darkness. They became fearful. Jesus told them to not be afraid and commanded them to walk on water. Peter got out of the boat, and as he started walking on the water, he became afraid and started to sink. As he yelled to Jesus to help him, Jesus replied, "You of little faith." Peter used his faith and was able to walk on water. Peter was able to give life to his faith with imagination and accomplish something he thought was impossible. Proverbs 18th chapter, 21st verse reminds us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. All religions emphasize faith. When we understand that faith requires visualization, we will be able to create the things hoped for. Like Harold, let us take our purple crayon, use our imagination to create wonderful adventures. Philippians states, "In everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Albert Einstein says, "Your imagination is your preview of life's coming attractions." I want to remind you to don't just pray for the details or the small things. Pray for the big things too. Use your imagination to live the life you dream about. Give yourself permission to experience a red carpet life. And when your friends tell you to face reality, you tell them reality is for people who lack imagination. Now let's become still. Now allow your eyes to close and begin by focusing your thoughts on your breath. Each breath allows you to become more relaxed and comfortable. And as you start to feel a sensation of deep relaxation, picture yourself standing before a peaceful lake or pond and imagine that there is light right between your eyes where your imagination is. What color is the light? Picture the light as a bright beam that extends out into space. To start your journey, follow the beam. And as it leaves this building, follow it as it travels up into the sky. As you come closer to the end of the beam, keep noticing where you are. This is where your future self lives. You, 5 years from now. Now move to the dwelling of your future self. As you approach the entrance, you're about to meet your future self. And as your future self lets you in, take a good look around. Now ask your future self the following question. What do I need to know to get me from where I am now to where you are? What would be most helpful? Listen to what your future self has to tell you. Good. Now tell your future self one thing that is really bothering you or worrying you right now. Now ask, how did you overcome this challenge or heartache? Ask your future self to tell you one word that is important for you to remember when you're feeling down or need support to keep you going toward your goal. What is that one word? Now remember it. Bringing this visit to a close, thank your future self for being here with you today and sharing such wisdom. Now take a deep breath. Breathing in this experience, remember, you know what to do. You know how to move forward. And promise yourself to take the first step today. As we close, Just for today, I will trust that power greater than myself to guide and direct my steps. I will seek out the things that make my soul smile, and I will take time to appreciate the beauty that surrounds me. I will believe just for today that the universal power is working to shape my world in ways that I cannot begin to imagine. Just for today, I will not be separated from God. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Trust your greatness, starting now. Namaste.